Okay, so before we get into this, it is very important to say that there are no surviving um, Macuahuitls that we know of to this day, and that the last one was destroyed in a fire in 1884. Because what is history, right? Without terrible losses and detriment. Um, so a Macuahuitl was a weapon. It was a wooden club uh, that had embedded obsidian blades, which, according to conquistador accounts, that if you swung hard enough with both hands, there's accounts of it literally chopping off a horse's head. So, to me, that's as strong as a two-handed broadsword. I mean, that's pretty powerful. And this was a pre-Columbian, pre-contact weapon. So these must have been pretty scary to go up against, even armed with European horses and lances and swords and guns. I mean, these are a little these are a little scary to think about. So the name is derived from the Nahuatl language and means hardwood. Its sides are embedded with prismatic blades, traditionally made from obsidian. Um, and its obsidian is capable of producing an edge sharper than high quality steel razor blades. And the use of the Macuahuitl is attested from the first millennium CE, but by the time of the Spanish conquistadors, the Macuahuitl was widely distributed in Mesoamerica, and the weapon was used by the Aztec, the Maya, the Mixtec, and the Toltec. It's pretty crazy. Um, the mock. So there were two standard versions of this weapon attested to. The Macuahuitl, about 70 to 80 centimeters, 28 to 31 inches long, with 6 to 8 blades on each side. And the Macuahuitl, a smaller club, 20 inches long, with only 4 obsidian blades. So much better. Um, According to Ross Hassig, the last authentic Macuahuitl was destroyed in 1884 in a fire in the real Armeria, where it was housed besides the last Tepostapiti, which was a pole arm as long as a man used by the Aztec, which I guess is another weapon I'd like to go into. Um, they claim that there's one in a warehouse somewhere, but I mean, since it's wood, it might have rotted away, and there might only be the obsidian chunks now. I mean, if it was real, it would have predated what 1500s, 1532 ish. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Is also commonly used by the Indian auxiliaries of Spain. You know, these were like the people that were enemies of the Aztec, and you know they hated the Aztec because they uh, had sacrificed them to their gods. At the top of the temple, they would rip out the heart and sacrifice it to the sun god Quetzalcoatl to so he can move across the sky for the day. And they did favor Spanish swords. So these auxiliaries needed a special permission to carry European arms and metal swords. Brought Indian auxiliaries more prestige than Macuahuitls in the eyes of Europeans as well as natives. So the Macuahuitl was sharp enough to decapitate a man, and supposedly, if you held it with both hands, could decapitate a horse, which must have been quite a sight to see. So we're gonna read off 3 accounts from different conquistadors that wrote about their experiences. Which did any of these guys survive for long after witnessing it? I don't know. Pedro de Maron was a very good horseman, and as he charged with 3 other horsemen into the ranks of the enemy, the Native Americans seized hold of his lance, and he was not able to drag it away. And others gave him cuts with their broadswords and wounded him badly, and then they slashed at the mare and cut her head off at the neck so that it hung by the skin and she fell dead. Another account is by a companion of Cortez known as the Anonymous Conqueror that tells a similar story of its effectiveness. They have swords of this kind, of wood made like a 2-handed sword, but with the hilt not so long, and about 3 fingers in breadth. The edges are grooved, and in the grooves they insert stone knives that cut like a Toledo blade. I saw one day an Indian fighting with a mounted man, and the Indian gave the horse of his antagonist such a blow in the breast that he opened it to the entrails and it fell dead on the spot. And the same day I saw another Indian give another horse a blow in the neck that stretched it dead at his feet. Wow. And here's another account by Francisco de Aguilar. They used cudgels and swords and a great many bows and arrows. One Indian at a single stroke cut open the whole neck of Cristobal de Olide's horse, killing the horse. The Indian on the other side slashed at the second horseman, and the blow cut through the horse's pastern, whereupon his horse also fell dead. And as soon as the sentry gave the alarm, they all ran out with their weapons to cut us off, following us with great fury, shooting arrows, spears, and stones, and wounding us with their swords. Here many Spaniards fell, some dead and some wounded, and others without any injury who fainted away from fright. I mean, to me it's just kind of sad because even with weapons like this, I still see a great disparity in the technology of or at least the offensive technology of the natives versus the conquistadors. And by this time, smallpox had decimated their civilization. And not only theirs, but it was spreading through throughout the Americas, which there's so much culture lost or willingly destroyed. Like when that priest, this stupid priest burned Le Popol Vuh. Oh my God, that makes me mad. God, that sucks. There's the Mayan holy book. Why did he burn that? Well, I know why, because he wanted to, destroy their culture, but such knowledge of a people that we would have known so much by now nowadays. This history is so sad. Ugh. This has been your host, Luke. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe for more. I want to cover the that spear that they were talking about. The Topili, which was a spear. And I also want to cover the jaguar warrior and the different kinds of warriors that the Aztecs had. I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.